Have you ever discovered that the people you'd die for wouldn't even pay you minimum wage for the work you do for them every single day? My name is Isabella Martinez. I'm 26 years old, and I just found out my family sees me as nothing more than their personal servant. But let me start from the beginning, because the phone call that shattered my world is still 48 hours away. My alarm screams at 5 a.m. just like every morning for the past 2 years. The house is still dark, still quiet, but not for long. In 30 minutes, 3-year-old Grace will wake up crying for her mommy, who won't be here, of course. Monica's already gone, slipped out at dawn for another important client meeting that somehow always involves mimosas and manicures. I pad down the hallway in my worn slippers, past Monica's perfectly pristine bedroom that I cleaned yesterday, past my parents' room where mom's already laid out her work clothes that I ironed last night. The kitchen hits me like a slap, dishes from dinner still stacked in the sink because Isabella will get them in the morning, as Dad announced before disappearing to watch his shows. Grace's cries pierce the morning silence. Aunt Bella, Aunt Bella. Here we go again. I scoop her up, feeling the familiar weight of responsibility settle on my shoulders like a lead blanket. She's sticky with dried tears and needs a diaper change. Monica left exactly one diaper in the bag with a note. Running low, can you grab more today? Of course, add it to the list between making breakfast for 4 adults, doing 3 loads of laundry, and somehow squeezing in job applications on my marketing degree that's been gathering dust for 24 months. Where's Mommy? Grace asks, her little hands tangling in my unwashed hair. Mommy's working, sweetheart, but Aunt Bella's here. Always Aunt Bella, never just Isabella who had dreams once, who graduated summa cum laude, who wanted to build campaigns for Fortune 500 companies. Now I build towers with blocks and negotiate with a toddler over eating vegetables. By 6 a.m., I've changed Grace, started coffee for the family, and begun prep for breakfast. Dad likes his eggs over easy with wheat toast, no butter. Mom wants her protein smoothie with exactly 2 ice cubes, more makes it too cold, less makes it too warm. Monica texts from wherever she is. Grace allergic to strawberries now. Figure something else out for her breakfast. Figure it out. Story of my life. The house comes alive around me in its predictable chaos. Dad stumbles downstairs in his robe, automatically reaching for the coffee I've already poured. Morning, Isabella. Grace being good for you. She's an angel. I lie, because what else can I say? That I've been up since 5 managing his granddaughter while his own daughter lives her best life? Mom breezes through in her business suit, grabbing the smoothie I prepared. Oh, Isabella, can you pick up my dry cleaning today? I have back-to-back meetings. She pauses at the mirror, adjusting her necklace. And maybe tidy up the living room before tonight? Monica's bringing someone special over for dinner. Someone special. My stomach clenches. Another dinner I'll cook and serve while Monica plays the gracious hostess in the home I maintain. What about my interview? The words slip out before I can stop them. I have a Zoom call at 3 with a marketing firm downtown, the first real opportunity I've had in months. Mom's reflection meets mine in the mirror. Oh honey, can't you reschedule? This is important for Monica's career. Important for Monica's career. Not Isabella's interview. Not Isabella's future. Monica's. I watch my mother leave, her heels clicking on the hardwood I mopped last night. Grace tugs on my pajama pants, wanting attention, wanting breakfast, wanting someone to put her first. At least she's honest about her needs. The morning dissolves into its familiar rhythm. I feed Grace while my own breakfast, leftover toast crusts, goes cold. I load the dishwasher, sort laundry, field texts from Monica about Grace's schedule. Playdate at 2, don't forget to pack her good dress, and make sure she naps first so she's not cranky. I stare at my phone, calculating. If Grace naps at noon and I need to have her dressed and ready by 1:30, and the playdate location is 20 minutes away, that leaves me exactly 30 minutes for my interview. 30 minutes to convince someone to hire the girl who's been invisible for 2 years. But that's assuming Grace actually naps. Yesterday she spent 2 hours singing Wheels on the Bus and dismantling her bookshelf. By lunch, I'm running on caffeine and frustration. Grace finally goes down at 12:30, giving me just enough time to throw on professional clothes over my exhaustion. I set up my laptop in Monica's room, the only quiet space, and pray Grace stays asleep. The interviewer is kind but thorough. I see there's a gap in your employment since graduation. Can you explain? Family obligations, I say, the practiced lie sliding easily off my tongue. I can't say I've been working 16-hour days as an unpaid nanny and housekeeper, that I've cooked approximately 1,460 dinners, changed roughly 2,000 diapers, and done more laundry than a small hotel. None of that counts as real work. Grace's cries pierce through the walls just as I'm explaining my portfolio. The interviewer's expression shifts. Understanding, then polite dismissal. We'll be in touch. We both know they won't be. I hang up as Monica breezes through the front door, designer bag slung over her shoulder, skin glowing from whatever spa treatment she squeezed in between meetings. Isabella, perfect timing, can you grab Grace? I need to shower before dinner prep. She pauses, looking me up and down in my hastily thrown together interview outfit. Why are you so dressed up? I had an interview. Oh, she shrugs like I mentioned the weather. Well, can you start marinating the chicken, and maybe whip up that spinach salad James likes? He's really important potential investor for my startup. My startup. The startup funded by our parents while I pay market rate rent for a room in my childhood home. The startup that requires me to provide free childcare so Monica can network and schmooze. I watch my sister disappear upstairs to her perfectly organized life, leaving me with her crying daughter and tonight's dinner preparations. Through the kitchen window, I see my neighbor Ruth working in her garden. She waves and I wave back. The only person who sees me as Isabella, not just the family's built-in help. Grace clings to my legs as I marinate chicken with one hand and text Ashley with the other. Interview disaster. Family comes first, as always. Ashley responds immediately. When are you going to stop letting them use you? I stare at the message, then at Grace's trusting face looking up at me. When am I going to stop? When am I going to demand they see me as more than just convenient free labor? The front door slams as Dad comes home, already calling for his afternoon coffee. Monica's shower starts upstairs. Grace needs a snack. The chicken needs attention. And I need to figure out how much longer I can pretend this is normal, that families treat each other this way, that love looks like endless sacrifice with no recognition. But for now, I make Dad's coffee and cut Grace's apple into perfect star shapes, because that's what good daughters and aunts do. Even when nobody's watching. Even when nobody cares. Dad's coffee mug clinks against the granite countertop, the countertop I scrub every night until it gleams. Grace munches her star-shaped apple slices, tiny fingers sticky with juice that will somehow end up on every surface within her reach. The late afternoon sun streams through windows I washed last weekend, casting everything in that golden light that should feel peaceful but instead highlights every speck of dust I'll need to clean later. More stars, Aunt Bella, Grace demands, her voice cutting through my mental fog. I'm reaching for another apple when Monica's voice drifts down from upstairs. She's on the phone in her room, door cracked open, voice carrying that particular pitch she uses when she's gossiping with her college friends. I've learned to tune it out over the years, endless chatter about her startup, her dates, her ambitious plans that always seem to require my free labor to execute. But something in her tone stops me cold. She's laughing. That sharp, mean laugh she used to make in high school when she was talking about people behind their backs. I'm serious, Jessica. It's like having a live-in nanny who costs absolutely nothing. High-end childcare for free. Her laugh gets louder. She has a marketing degree and everything, but she's so desperate to be useful that she'll do anything. My hand freezes halfway to Grace's plate. The apple slice slips from my fingers and hits the floor with a soft thud. The best part? She actually thinks we need her here. Like, emotionally need her. Monica's voice grows more animated. Mom and Dad are totally on board. They're like, Isabella should be grateful we're giving her a place to stay while she figures her life out. Meanwhile, she's saving us literally thousands every month. The kitchen tilts around me. The familiar sounds, Grace chattering, the dishwasher humming, Dad's TV in the den, all fade into background noise as Monica's words slice through everything I thought I knew about my family. Does she know you're claiming childcare expenses on your taxes? Jessica's voice is faint but audible through the phone's speaker. God no. And she better not find out. I'm getting back like $3,000 this year from those credits. Plus Mom and Dad only charge me $800 rent while Isabella pays full market rate $1,500. It's honestly genius. My legs give out. I sink into the kitchen chair, Grace's concerned face swimming in my peripheral vision. The numbers hit me like physical blows. $3,000 in tax credits for childcare I'm providing for free. $700 less rent than what I pay for 2 years. But what if she gets a real job? Jessica asks. Monica's laugh turns cold. That's why we sabotage the interviews. Mom always finds some family emergency right when Isabella has something important. Dad needs this, Grace needs that. I have a work crisis. She's so trained to put family first that she cancels everything. The room spins, every missed opportunity, every rescheduled interview, every time I chose family over my own future, it was all orchestrated, deliberate, calculated. She had one today actually, Monica continues, her voice dripping with satisfaction. Some marketing firm, Mom made sure to mention the dry cleaning and dinner prep right before her call. Isabella looked so stressed during the interview that the guy probably wrote her off immediately. My stomach lurches. I press my hand to my mouth, tasting bile. Grace reaches for me, sensing something's wrong, but I can barely see through the rage building behind my eyes. The funniest part, Monica's voice gets conspiratorial. She thinks we're this close, loving family. She literally said last week that she's grateful to help during our rough patch. Like, what rough patch? We're living our best lives while she's our unpaid servant. Monica, that's kind of brutal. Jessica's voice carries a note of discomfort. Is it though? She's 26 and living at home, no boyfriend, no real job, no life outside of cleaning up after us. This is probably the most useful she'll ever be, at least this way she's contributing something. The words hit me like a physical assault. Useful, contributing, as if my marketing degree, my dreams, my entire identity could be reduced to how well I serve their needs. Plus, Monica continues, her voice getting closer to the door, Mom says Isabella has a martyrdom complex. She actually likes feeling needed and indispensable. We're doing her a favor by letting her play house. Martyrdom complex, the clinical coldness of that phrase cuts deeper than anything else. They've psychoanalyzed my devotion, pathologized my love, turned my sacrifice into a character flaw. Grace tugs on my sleeve, Aunt Bella sad. I look down at this beautiful child I've raised for 2 years, reading her bedtime stories, kissing her scraped knees, celebrating every milestone while her mother collected praise for being such a dedicated working mom. Monica missed Grace's first steps because she was at a networking event. I was the one who saw it, recorded it, sent the video to Monica so she could post it online as if she'd been there. Actually, hold on, Monica's voice gets muffled as she apparently covers the phone. Mom, can you come here a second? My heart stops. I hear Mom's heels clicking up the stairs, her voice joining the conversation. I should move, should pretend I haven't heard anything, but I'm frozen in this kitchen chair while my entire world rebuilds itself around this new, horrible reality. What's up, sweetheart? Mom's voice is warm, affectionate, the tone she reserves for Monica. Jessica was asking about our childcare arrangement. I was telling her how perfect Isabella's been. Oh, it's been wonderful. Mom's voice brightens. Isabella's so domestic anyway, and Grace adores her. Plus it gives Isabella purpose while she's figuring out her career path. Win-win. Purpose. They think babysitting my niece is my life's purpose. The tax benefits alone make it worth keeping her around. Mom continues with a laugh. Monica gets those credits, Isabella pays full rent, and we get a clean house and home-cooked meals. Sometimes I feel guilty about how good the arrangement is for us. She sometimes feels guilty. Don't feel guilty, Monica says quickly. Isabella would be lost without us. She needs the structure, needs to feel important. This is honestly the best possible situation for someone like her. Someone like her. Someone like me. Grace slides off her chair and wraps her small arms around my leg, sensing the storm building inside me. This innocent child, who calls me Aunt Bella with such pure love, who trusts me completely, she's been the unwitting center of a financial scam I've been too naive to see. The conversation upstairs continues, but the words blur together as my mind races through 2 years of exploitation. Every early morning, every missed opportunity, every time I put their needs before mine, it was all feeding a system designed to use me. And the most devastating part, they think I'm too stupid, too pathetic, too desperate for belonging to ever figure it out. But I have figured it out now, and everything, absolutely everything, is about to change. My hands shake as I lift Grace into her high chair for dinner. muscle memory taking over while my mind reels from what I've just heard. The kitchen feels different now, foreign, contaminated. Every surface I've scrubbed, every meal I've prepared, every moment of domestic bliss I thought we shared, it's all been built on lies. Monica bounces downstairs 20 minutes later, hair perfectly blown out, makeup flawless, ready to charm her investor. She doesn't even glance at Grace, who's been asking for mommy for the past hour. "Isabella, you're a lifesaver," she says, grabbing the wine I've already chilled. "James should be here any minute. The chicken smells amazing." A lifesaver, if only she knew how dead I feel inside. I serve dinner like a ghost, watching Monica play the role of devoted single mother. "Grace is such a good eater," she tells James, a silver-haired man in an expensive suit. "It's all about consistency and patience." Consistency and patience, I've been providing both for 2 years while she collected the credit. After they disappear into the living room with their wine, after Grace is finally asleep, after my parents have retreated to their bedroom praising Monica's wonderful evening, I sit alone in the kitchen with my laptop. My fingers hover over the keyboard, trembling with rage and determination. I need proof, I need evidence, I need to know exactly how deep this betrayal goes. I start with what I know. Monica files her taxes through an online service. She's always bragging about her refunds. Her laptop sits charging in the living room, password protected but not impossible. She uses the same password for everything. Grace 2021, the year her daughter was born. The house is quiet except for the grandfather clock's steady tick as I navigate to her tax software. My heart pounds so loudly I'm afraid it'll wake everyone, but I can't stop now. Not when I'm this close to understanding the scope of their deception. There it is, line by line, Monica's claimed childcare expenses for the past 2 years. $12,000 last year, $15,000 this year. Professional childcare rates for services I provided for free. The refund amounts make my stomach turn. $3,200 last year, $3,000 projected for this year. $7,000 in tax benefits stolen from work I did out of love. I screenshot everything, my hands steadier now as anger crystallizes into cold purpose. Then I dig deeper, bank statements, rent payments, expense reports. The financial picture that emerges is even worse than I imagined. Monica pays $800 rent to our parents. I pay $1,500, nearly double, for the same size bedroom in the same house. When I questioned it last year, Dad explained that Monica needed help getting on her feet after Grace was born. 2 years later, she's driving a BMW while I take the bus to job interviews I'm sabotaged from completing. But the bank statements reveal something else. Regular transfers from Mom and Dad to Monica, $500 here, $1,000 there. Startup investments and emergency funds that total nearly $20,000 over 2 years. Money that could have helped me pay off my student loans or at least reduced my rent to match Monica's sweetheart deal. My laptop screen blurs as tears of rage mix with devastating clarity. I'm not just providing free childcare and housekeeping. I'm subsidizing their golden child's entire lifestyle. I hear movement upstairs and quickly close the laptop, but I'm not done, not even close. The next morning, while Monica sleeps off her wine and success, I continue my investigation. This time, I focus on what she's told her employers about our arrangement. Her work emails are synced to the family computer, another security oversight that's about to cost her. I search for childcare and nanny, and the results make me physically sick. Email after email to her boss explaining her extended work trips. My professional nanny has Grace covered, so I'm completely flexible for travel. Professional nanny, me, working for free while she builds her career on my unpaid labor. Another email to HR about flexible scheduling. I have reliable live-in childcare, so I can take on additional projects and evening events. Reliable live-in childcare, the marketing graduate scrubbing toilets and missing her own opportunity. But the worst discovery comes when I find their family group chat, the one I'm conspicuously not included in despite living in the same house. Monica, Mom and Dad have been discussing me like I'm their shared employee. Monica's Isabella's getting restless about job hunting again. Can you guys keep her busy this week? Dad, I'll mention the garage needs organizing. That should take her a few days. Mom. Perfect. And I'll schedule that dental appointment for Grace during her interview window. Isabella never says no when it comes to Grace. My vision goes white with rage. The garage project that took me 3 days last month wasn't because Dad needed help. It was to sabotage my job search. Grace's emergency dental appointment that made me miss the interview with that nonprofit wasn't bad timing. It was strategic manipulation. I scroll through months of messages, each one revealing another layer of their careful orchestration of my life. They discuss my schedule like they're my employers, my emotions like I'm a problematic employee, my future like it belongs to them. Isabella's martyrdom complex is actually working in our favor. Mom wrote 3 months ago. She'd rather suffer than disappoint us. The martyrdom complex. There's that phrase again, clinical and dismissive, reducing my love for family into a psychological disorder they can exploit. I start calculating. 2 years of full-time childcare at professional rates, $60,000. 2 years of housekeeping services, $24,000. 2 years of personal chef services, $36,000. The rent differential, $16,800. Monica's stolen tax credits, $7,000. $143,800. They've stolen nearly $144,000 worth of services from me over 2 years, and they think I'm too stupid, too desperate for their approval, to ever figure it out. I print everything: tax documents, bank statements, emails, chat screenshots. The evidence fills a manila folder that represents 2 years of systematic financial abuse disguised as family love. My phone buzzes with a text from Ashley. Coffee today? You sounded weird yesterday. Weird. If only she knew. I text back. Can't. Family needs me. But as I type those words I've typed hundreds of times over 2 years, something fundamental shifts inside me. Family doesn't need me. Family uses me. There's a difference, and I'm finally awake enough to see it. Grace toddles into the kitchen, rubbing sleepy eyes, reaching for me with complete trust. Morning, Aunt Bella. I lift her up, breathing in her sweet toddler scent, feeling the weight of love and manipulation tangled together. She's innocent in all this. She genuinely needs me, loves me, depends on me. But her mother, my parents, they've weaponized that innocent love, turned my devotion into their profit margin. Monica appears in the doorway, stretching and yawning. Successful evening, she announces, not asking about Grace, not thanking me for managing bedtime alone. James is definitely interested in investing. This could change everything for me. Change everything for her. Not for us, for her. She pours coffee from the pot I made an hour ago and checks her phone, completely oblivious to the fact that I now know exactly what she's been doing to me. The casual cruelty of it, the way she can look me in the eye and smile while systematically destroying my future, hits me like a physical blow. I might need you to watch Grace extra this week, she says, not looking up from her phone. James wants to discuss terms over dinner, and you know how these business dinners can run late. I know everything now. Of course, I hear myself say, the automatic response of 2 years of conditioning. But inside, something cold and determined is crystallizing. They think they know me, think they can predict my every move, manipulate my every emotion. They've built their comfortable lives on that assumption. They have no idea what's coming. Have you ever felt that moment when you stop being afraid and start getting dangerous, when 2 years of swallowed rage finally finds its voice? I'm recording this on my phone as I sit in Monica's BMW, yes, the BMW I helped pay for with my stolen wages, outside the coffee shop where I'm about to meet Logan for the last time as the family doormat. In 30 minutes, I'm going home to burn down the life they built on my back. The manila folder sits beside me, heavy with evidence. $144,000. That number has been echoing in my head for 3 days, growing louder each time Monica asks me to do something. Each time Mom mentions another small favor, each time Dad assumes his coffee will magically appear. My hands aren't shaking anymore, that's how I know I'm ready. Isabella. Logan's voice cuts through my mental preparation. He slides into the passenger seat, his familiar warmth filling the space. You sounded strange on the phone, what's going on? I turn to look at him, really look at him. This man who's been asking me out for months while I made excuses about family obligations. This man who sees me as Isabella, not as the family's unpaid help. I need you to do something for me, I say, my voice steadier than it's been in years. I need you to help me move out today, right now, before I lose my nerve. His eyebrows shoot up. Move out? Isabella, what happened? I hand him the folder. Read the first page. I watch his face change as he scans Monica's tax returns, the bank statements, the rent comparisons. His jaw tightens. Isabella, this is financial abuse. Financial abuse. I've never heard someone name it so clearly, so clinically. The relief of external validation hits me like a physical force. There's more, I whisper, 2 years worth. 20 minutes later, Logan's face is pale with rage on my behalf. How are you so calm right now? I want to march into that house and... Because I've been planning this for 3 days, I interrupt, and I'm not calm, I'm volcanic. The drive home passes in a blur of strategic planning. Logan calls his brother with a truck. I text Ashley to meet us at the house. She deserves to witness this after listening to my complaints for 2 years. Everything I own will fit in one truckload. That's how small they've made my life. The house looks different as we pull into the driveway, smaller somehow, less intimidating. Monica's car is gone, business lunch, no doubt, networking while I plot her downfall. Only Mom and Dad's cars sit in the garage I organized last month to sabotage my own job search. You sure about this? Logan asks as we walk up the front steps. I've never been more sure of anything in my life. The living room feels like a stage set as I enter with Logan and Ashley flanking me. Mom looks up from her laptop, surprised. Isabella? I thought you were grocery shopping. And who? Mom, Dad, I call, my voice carrying through the house with an authority I've never used here. Family meeting, now. Dad appears from his den, annoyed at being interrupted. Isabella, what's this about? I'm watching the game. It's about $144,000. The silence that follows is deafening. Mom's face goes pale. Dad's expression shifts from irritation to confusion to dawning awareness. I pull out my phone and hit record. This is Isabella Martinez, recording a family meeting on October 15, 2025, regarding systematic financial exploitation. Isabella, what are you doing? Mom's voice is sharp, panicked. I'm documenting your response to evidence of fraud. I drop the folder on the coffee table like a bomb. Tax fraud, specifically, and financial abuse. Dad reaches for the folder, but I'm faster. Actually, Dad, let me read it to you. Monica has claimed $15,000 in childcare expenses this year for services I provided for free. That's tax fraud. Now wait just a minute. Dad starts, but I cut him off. I'm not finished. Monica pays $800 rent. I pay $1,500 for the same size room. Monica receives regular financial gifts from you totaling $20,000 over 2 years. I receive nothing. My voice grows stronger with each accusation. You deliberately sabotaged my job interviews. You organized my schedule to prevent me from building a career. You treat me like live-in help while Monica builds her life on my stolen labor. Mom recovers first, her face arranging itself into that familiar disappointed expression. Isabella, honey, you're being dramatic. We're a family. We help each other. Help each other, I laugh, and it sounds foreign in this room. When exactly have you helped me, Mom? When you scheduled Grace's appointments during my interviews, when you gave Monica lower rent while I struggled to pay student loans, when you called my dedication a martyrdom complex behind my back. The color drains from her face. She knows I know about the group chat. You knew, Ashley says quietly, her voice filled with disgust. You all knew exactly what you were doing to her. Logan steps forward. Mrs. Martinez, what Isabella has shown me constitutes financial abuse. The systematic exploitation, the deliberate sabotage of her career. Who are you? Dad snaps, his authority voice kicking in. This is a family matter. I'm the person helping Isabella move out today, Logan says calmly. Right now. The front door slams and Monica's voice carries from the entryway. Whose truck is in our driveway? She appears in the living room doorway, taking in the scene, the folder, my recording phone, the tension crackling in the air like electricity before a storm. What's going on? She asks, but her eyes have already found the folder. She knows. Monica, I say, my voice deadly calm, tell everyone about your tax returns. Her face goes through a rapid series of expressions: confusion, recognition, panic, and finally, defiance. I don't know what you're talking about. I pull out the printed tax forms. Childcare expenses, $15,000 this year, $12,000 last year, for services I provided for free while you collected the credits and the professional credibility.
Isabella.
She starts, but I'm not done. Tell them about telling your boss I'm your professional nanny. Tell them about the group chat where you all coordinate keeping me too busy to build my own life. Tell them about calling me convenient and saying I should be grateful. Monica's mask finally slips. You went through my private files? My phone? I documented evidence of fraud, I correct. The same fraud you'll be explaining to the IRS when I file my complaint tomorrow. The room erupts. Dad's shouting about ingratitude and family loyalty. Mom's crying about misunderstandings and hurt feelings. Monica's threatening legal action for invasion of privacy. But their voices fade into background noise as I feel something I haven't felt in 2 years. Power. The power of truth, the power of evidence, the power of finally standing up for myself. Grace, Monica says suddenly, her voice desperate. You can't leave, Grace. And there it is, the final manipulation, the last card they have to play. I kneel down as Grace appears at the top of the stairs, drawn by the shouting. She runs to me, and I lift her up, breathing in her innocence one more time. I love you so much, sweetheart, I whisper against her hair, but Aunt Bella has to go live in her own house now. Grace's eyes fill with tears, and my heart breaks cleanly in half, but I hand her to Monica, her actual mother, and watch Monica's face as she's forced to comfort her own child for once. You're tearing this family apart, Dad says, his voice broken. I turn to look at him, this man I've tried so hard to please, whose coffee I've made every morning for 2 years, whose approval I've chased like a ghost. No, Dad, I say quietly, you already did that when you decided I was worth less than Monica. I'm just refusing to pretend anymore. The moving truck pulls up outside. Ashley squeezes my shoulder. Logan takes my hand. And for the first time in my adult life, I walk out of that house choosing myself first. The last thing I hear before the door closes is Grace crying for me, and Monica's panicked voice. Isabella, wait, we can work this out. But I don't wait, I don't look back. Sometimes you have to burn bridges to stop people from walking all over you. And I'm finally ready to light the match. 6 months later, I'm sitting in my own apartment, my beautiful, clean, peaceful apartment that stays exactly as I leave it, recording this final part of my story. The marketing firm that seemed so impossible to reach, they called me back 3 days after I moved out. Turns out, when you're not being deliberately sabotaged by your own family, interviews go much better. I start as senior marketing coordinator next Monday, finally using my degree to build something that's mine. Logan's making coffee in my kitchen, our kitchen really, since he's here most nights now. The relationship I thought I didn't have time for bloomed the moment I stopped prioritizing other people's needs over my own heart. My phone buzzes with the daily text from Monica. Today's attempt, Grace asks about you every day. She doesn't understand why Aunt Bella disappeared. Please just call back. I delete it without reading the full message, just like I've deleted the 43 others this month. Grace does ask about me. Ashley saw them at Target last week and Monica looked exhausted, overwhelmed, actually parenting for the first time while paying $200 a day for real childcare. The IRS investigation is moving forward. Turns out, falsely claiming childcare expenses while exploiting family members for free labor is exactly as illegal as it sounds. Monica's facing penalties, back payments, and an audit that's revealing 2 years of creative tax strategies. Mom calls weekly, crying about how I'm tearing the family apart. Dad sent one email. Come home, we can discuss this like adults. I laughed so hard Logan thought I was having a breakdown. But here's the thing about choosing yourself first. The people who truly love you will support that choice. Ashley brings wine and celebrates every small victory. Ruth, my elderly neighbor, told me she's proud of the woman I've become. Logan holds my hand through the hard days when I miss Grace so much it physically hurts. And the people who can't support you choosing yourself? Well, that tells you everything you need to know about whether they ever really loved you, or just loved what you did for them. I'm not the family's unpaid servant anymore. I'm Isabella Martinez, marketing professional, Logan's girlfriend, Ashley's best friend, Ruth's surrogate daughter, all relationships built on mutual respect instead of exploitation. Sometimes I still wake up at 5 a.m., my body trained by 2 years of servitude. But now I make coffee just for me, watch the sunrise through windows I don't have to clean, and plan my own day around my own dreams. Have you escaped being your family's unpaid servant? Share your story in the comments below. Sometimes we need to hear we're not alone in choosing ourselves first. Because the woman who finally stands up for herself, she's not selfish, she's free.